Oliver, welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Insight. Well, happy Labor Day. Have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend, depending on when you're watching this. And as you gather with family and friends, here's what many other baby boomers, like those of you watching this, are looking to do to eliminate the two greatest threats or risks to your retirement. Three of you, I think of just this past week, had shared after watching our no cost, no obligation educational retirement protection webinar had shared your insights. I'm big on asking insights, and here they were. The first actual couple I spoke to, they basically said, "Look, I'm so concerned that the stock market is going to burst or bust, and my goal is to get my wife retired by the end of this year." So that we can have a retirement and not worry like we experienced some of our friends, unfortunately, having to postpone their retirement in 2000's market crash and 2008 market crash. And as many of you have shared, the big concern is just getting your serious retirement savings safe. The biggest threat is the risk of market losses, but also loss to taxation. And another couple shared with me, Bob and Becky, they said, Chuck, this idea of getting the IRS out of our IRAs in the form of basically getting the government out of our retirement business is very appealing, especially for a client that I had analyzed taking a lump sum pension as opposed to the employer paid pension and the ability for that income to go up, not continue to go down because there was no cost of living if he took it through the employer. There was an increase of, in fact, it doubled his retirement income to support he and his spouse by he taking matters into his own hands and not only eliminating the employer that would have obviously cost him a pretty penny, but eliminating the IRS in the process. And then another single gentleman had shared with us, wow, I really realized how important it was to have a reevaluation of my retirement. I didn't realize how exposed I was. I didn't realize, the risk I was taking versus how I could reduce my risk by eliminating it to a market loss and still have the upside of the market's gains, but with taking 100% less risk to do it, which ironically, what I teach this coming Tuesday is my wealth protection educational webinar. And I teach how you can have upside without downside, and you can do that by eliminating taxes. So the two things that can be eliminated predictably, ethically, morally, and legally are taxation loss and market loss, and they can be done simultaneously. And several of you said, I'm so glad I took the time to get educated that while maybe some of you are spending time with family this Labor Day weekend, take the time to introduce this to friends, family, but more importantly, take the time for yourself. And if some of these things sound too good to be true, don't discount them just because maybe you've not heard of them, or don't just assume they can't be true. Take the time to think about your own thinking instead of letting somebody think for you. Someone said, I'm so glad I took the time to learn this myself because a few people I'd asked about it, number one, had never heard of it. And number two, it's easy to assume, well, because they've not heard of it, maybe it doesn't really exist. Folks, it exists. This is what every major bank and corporation and every major past and ironically present president have implemented to get their serious money safe and to eliminate the IRS from their IRAs and their retirement, as well as eliminate the forthcoming market loss, with many of you sharing how nervous you are about this being an election year and that the market could burst or bust. Now is the time to act, not react ahead of this election. So if you want to learn how to protect your retirement and find your hidden wealth solutions, go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com, or call while space is still available. My educational webinars fill up because I teach at different times at 855-668-2928. That's 855-668-2928. Look, folks, people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. And here's the opportunity that many of you have shared you wish you would have done 10, 20 years ago. Here's the opportunity to be focused and learn this now and get ahead of this election to get your serious retirement savings solutions in place. Here's to your hidden wealth.